Good evening, I'm Brett Baer. We begin tonight with America's election headquarters in Alaska as we wait results from the absentee ballots that will decide who gets the Republican spot on the Senate ballot in November. There is jockeying on both sides for any possible advantage. Correspondent Dan Springer is in Anchorage tonight.
Tea Party-backed Joe Miller clings to a slim lead over Senator Lisa Murkowski in Alaska's Republican primary, where absentee votes will be counted tomorrow. Meantime, Miller is taking on his party's leadership, accusing them of meddling and, worse, tampering with the outcome by calling people who had voted by absentee ballot.
I don't think Republicans ought to be meddling in a primary. And I talked to Senator Cornyn on Saturday. He assured me he was pulling his team out as of Saturday night.
The National Republican Senatorial Committee had sent a staffer to Alaska to help Murkowski observe the absentee ballot counting. This as some Murkowski supporters are making plans for a possible third-party candidacy should she come up short in the primary. The Libertarian Party candidate said he would consider giving up his spot on the ballot to Murkowski, but yesterday the party's executive board voted to prevent that from happening.
When we look at Lisa's record and we see her votes for the bailout of the banks and the lending institutions, we realize that's not free enterprise. When we look at her vote on the war, we realize that's not a neutral foreign policy that we desire.
A weekend poll showed in a three-way race among Democrat Scott McAdams, Murkowski, and Miller, Murkowski trails Miller by 4%, with the Democrat a distant third. Still, Murkowski's campaign manager says they never approached the Libertarian Party. And as for a rumored write-in candidacy, he said, quote, "We are not discussing any contingencies until we know the outcome of the primary, but we can't say it's not an option." Meantime, the bad blood between Miller and Murkowski continues following a tweet from a Miller staffer which appeared to compare Murkowski to a prostitute for even thinking about abandoning the Republican Party. Miller says the comment was directed not at Murkowski, but at the Libertarian Party. Still, he apologized.
It was sent out by a staffer on our campaign, a senior who is a disabled Vietnam vet, great guy. It was a poor choice of words.
Senator Murkowski accepted that apology, but the twists and turns continue. Just moments ago, an attorney for Miller made it official, filing an allegation with the Attorney General asking for an investigation of vote tampering. Meanwhile, Miller's lead is at 1,668 votes with about 23,000 yet to be added. Those will be absentee and challenge ballots. Both sides are confident, they say, that those votes will break their way. And Brett, if the final vote count, if the gap is less than 0.5%, which amounts to 400 votes in this case, that would trigger an automatic recount. Brett?
Dan Springer live in Anchorage tonight. Dan, thank you.